Hey everybody, it's Felix Jean from Bourbons Guys ATL. I'll be your host as we walk through the Calumet 16 whiskey review. And to be more precise, this is actually a bourbon. But before we get into that, if you're not familiar with Calumet 16, it comes from the Calumet Farms in Kentucky. It is a 16-year-old whiskey that is made up of 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. Again, this is the premium offering from Calumet, so expectations are high. And if your ears to the street, there's been a lot of buzz about this whiskey. So I'm ready to get into it. What we're gonna do is walk through the nosing, some of the mouthfeel, and finally give you a palate and really answer the question, is it worth the price tag? All right, let's get into it. Off the bat, I just want to talk about, while we're ready to pour, the color that you see on the Calumet 16. It is a rich caramel and amber colored whiskey. And that's what's expected for something that's so old and aged in those barrels. As you can see, I'm using my Glencairn glass, and what I want to take note of first, as I swirl it, is really the texture, the viscosity of the liquid. Being that it's a non-chilled filtered whiskey, that means all of the oils and fats from the whiskey is really right here in this glass. Pick it up at the nose. Want to take a good sniff of it. I can tell you, the caramel that's in the color is also in the nose. Nice sweetness on the bourbon. Nice bouquet of banana, cream, a little bit of caramel. There's a pinch of spice in the back. I would maybe say nutmeg or black pepper. Really delicious smelling bourbon. I'll tell you, for a 16-year-old whiskey, this has a very desserty nose, but also gives you that spice and complexity. Yeah, it smells delicious. So let's see if it actually is. I like to take a nice mouthful, swish it around, let it saturate the tongue and the roof of my mouth and the palate. And taking that deep inhale afterwards opens it up and let it hit the nostrils. So I can tell you from that, I actually feel the 106 proof. It's not overpowering, but I think it's the perfect place for a whiskey this age. If you're familiar to drinking whiskey, I think this settles right in at being a premium whiskey. Not too light, not too heavy. If you're walking into whiskeys, I probably would say this would probably be the peak of what you want to start off with, if not lower at a 90 or 100. But this is a beautiful whiskey for something that is so old and at the price range that it comes in. You want it to normally be above 100. Speaking of price, coming in at retail, I believe it's $149, so $150. I was able to get this from a local store, Caps and Corks, for roughly a little bit lower than that, but I've seen it anywhere between $149 to $180. So if you guys could get this for, again, closer to the lower end of the spectrum, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. All in all, I want to take another sip, give you a complete summary of my thoughts on it, and answer that question, is it worth the hype? Again, the viscosity that is on the glass, I think it's beautiful. It does show that it is non-chilled filter, giving you all the oils and extraction from that barrel and from the maturation process. So that's one thing that's impressive. The nose, coming off with a little bit of sweet and heat, is what I would call it. Bananas, Fosters, caramel, cream. It is a nice nose, close to the dessert side, but lacking that kind of overly sweetness. And then again, finally the palate. More of that banana is up present in front in that banana Foster's description, but it's all there. That burnt caramel, that That sweetness from the ripened banana. Getting a little of that nutmeg, black pepper, bacon spices. Nothing short of what I would expect for a $150 to $60 16-year-old whiskey. All in all, I'm gonna answer the question, yes. For the price that I paid for this, I would purchase this again as a backup and really enjoy this with friends that are more experienced in the whiskey. The pairing for this would go great with a cigar or after dinner dessert, and finish off with a pour or a dram of the Calumet 16. Hey guys, again, I'm Felix from Bars and Cigars. Thank you for tuning in. We got more whiskey and bourbon and cigar reviews on the way. Just stay tuned, hit subscribe below so you don't miss a thing. Cheers.